Axis Realty Group, and today I'm going to bring you some information about the recently sold homes in Clarksburg, Maryland. This is the zip code 20871. The information I'm going to be giving you today is going to be very helpful for buyers and sellers because for buyers, you want to know what the market is right now in Clarksburg. If you're looking about buying a home in Clarksburg, you need to find out what kind of offer you need to send to the sellers based on what's going on overall in the market. If you're looking to sell a property in the next few months in the year of 2021, you want to know what are other properties are selling for. How are the sellers experiencing the contract that they're arriving to sell their homes, and what is the market conditions, and what is exactly what you should expect before putting your house on the market. So let's get to it, and I'm going to go ahead and give you this information that is very important. I'm going to be sharing with you my MLS that we all use um, for all real estate realtors in the area for Maryland, DC, and Virginia. And I'm going to look at the last 10 days for Clarksville, Maryland, all the properties that they sold. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to get these results now. So I have a total of 14 properties that sold on the last 10 days. So we're going to review some of these properties and then give you my input about my opinion of what you should be looking for, especially if you're thinking about selling in Clarksburg, Maryland in the next few months. So let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see this better. So we're going to review some of the properties. In the last 10 days, 14 properties were sold in Clarksburg, Maryland. Let's get started with this one. This one is in Town Center in Clarksburg. This property was in the market 6 days, and this is what we're going to be looking at. More importantly, we're going to look at how many days the properties were on the market, how much they were asking for. In this case, the original asking price was $319,000, and the close price was $345,000. So as you can see, that's a difference almost of $23,000 basically on the first property that they sold this house for more money. And this is a typical Clarksburg Town Center type of condo in which you can gonna see some of the pictures and more likely give you more ideas what do they look like inside. They are very open concept. The kitchen is on this end right here, and obviously the bedrooms, everything else is downstairs. So that's a typical condominium in Clarksburg Town Center. So let's go to the next one. And I said this is a single family home, and this is also in Clarksburg is in 355. This house was in the market for $399, and it sold for $399 after 2 days. So it sold for the same price, same asking price. Typically, some of these homes in Clarksburg will sell for less because of the location, and some of these houses which are much older. This house specifically was built in 1965. It's a Rambler. So this is the reason why some of these houses are not going above asking price. They were looking $399,000, and that's what they got. This other property is also another condominium in Aurora Hills. This house was in the market for 5 days. This condo, it was listed for $390, and it sold for $406. That's a total of $16,000 difference. So it sold for more than asking price. Next property. This is in Gallery Parking in Clarksburg, in Glenbow Way. This property is also a type of condominium / townhouse. It was on the market for $410,000, and it sold for $435, $25,000 above asking price. How long did it take? 9 days. Next property, there's no picture available. This is a residential. It was listed in 1 day, It was sold. It was listed for 445, and it sold for 445. Typically, this type of properties that are sold are properties that are coming with an already purchaser, a contract already on the property. So it is put on MLS so they can have the information that this house was sold. And because I don't imagine that many people had a chance to check this property in one day to see if they wanted to pay more than $445,000. They came in at 445. They sold it at 445. Next property, Clarksburg Village. This is our townhouse, interior townhouse. This house was sold in 6 days. It was listed for 425, sold for 455. So we're talking about $30,000 above asking price. Another one that went over asking price. This one, townhouse. This is in Horseshoe Bend and Clarksburg Village as well. This house was in the market for 5 days. It was listed for $449,900, $450, and it sold for $480. Basically $30,000 above asking price. The next one, this one is in Clarksburg Town Center. It's a semi-detached colonial, 2 levels. This house was in the market for 42 days. It was listed for $599, and it sold for $490. And I'm gonna get back to this so I can explain to you why is the reason why in this hot market, this property started at $599 and end up with $490, selling for a much less money. So let's just go to the next one, and we're gonna get back to this one. Number 9, Clarksburg Village. That's another townhouse. This townhouse was listed in 3 days. It was sold in 3 days. Original price was $484,900, and it sold for $495. So we're looking about over basically $10,000 more. Another property sold above asking price. Single family home. No, this is an end unit townhouse. Sorry, this is in Greenway Village in Aurora Hills. This townhouse was on the market for only 4 days. It was initially listed at $475, and it sold for $510,000. That's $35,000 more above asking price. This single family home, located in Rolling Green and Regina Drive in Clarksburg. This house, let's see, one was built. This house was built in 1977, so it's an older house. Was in the market on 7 days. Originally was started at $500,000, and it sold for $550, $50,000 above asking price. If I have to guess, the pictures are going to be amazing on this property for going up $50,000 more. Yes, and it looks like the house is ready, move-in condition, and it has all the properties that you'll expect on a single-family home built in 1977, which still has some of the details from many years ago. But it looks clean. It looks ready to move in. Very nice-looking home. This is the reason why this house was sold for $50,000 more, and obviously it was properly marketed to be able to do that. So that's a good, and congratulations to the seller and to the listing agent. This property, this is in Woodcrest. This house was listed 8 days. It was listed for $625, and then sold for $693. And this makes me very happy because this house is just a few houses down for where I live. So this is good news for us. Almost $700,000 for this family home, and it went up $7,000 more, almost $70,000 more than was asking price. This houses are in a neighborhood that typically, open concept, very nice. The location is nice, obviously, because I live here, so in the same neighborhood. We have a big park behind us. There is no neighbors on the back. Plenty parking, dead end street, And obviously, this neighbor's house on mine was superb, very clean, granny counters. And it has all the open concept that you expect on these houses. It has a detached garage on the back, all wood floors, very clean. That raised the property value for my house. Then let's go to the next property. This property was in the market one single day, and it was 6,769 400, and they sold it for 775. There's not really that much difference on this on the price, but this is a home is to be built in Cabin Branch. Price is 775 545. So let's get back at the property that I was telling you, because as you can see, I wanna be able to talk to you a little bit about the reasons why some houses, don't sell like all the other houses, the rest of the houses. And this particular house, which was number 8, is sold for a lot less money. And that was the only house out of the 14 houses in Clarksburg for the last 10 days. That was the only house that sold for less than what the asking price. The rest of the properties went above asking price. And that's what you should be expecting on the next few months if you're thinking about selling your home. But remember, the reason why some properties have problems selling is because the asking price may be above what the market is really telling them to put in the market for. A lot of times, sellers do not realize that you can ask $10 million for a property, and you may find somebody who's going to say, I want to pay $10 million for your property. But you have to understand that the person who's going to stop that sale is going to be the appraiser of the property that is coming from the bank, giving the loan to the buyer. The buyer has to get a loan to buy your house. And the bank is not going to just lend the money blindly to the buyer to buy your house. The bank is going to make sure your house is worth what it's supposed to be worth. And this is the reason why they hire an appraiser, so they can check it out and see what kind of price range is your house. And if the price range is within the sales amount, obviously the bank is going to say, okay, let's go forward. But if the price range is way below or what the contract price says, the bank is going to say, no, we're not going to lend you this money unless you're willing, the buyer, pay the extra difference. So what happens is you get into a big mess, basically, because when you initiate the sale of a property for a higher price, and then people in the market itself avoid your house because they obviously think that you're overpriced, then you start accumulating days on the market. As you can see, some of the days on the market on these listings were 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, and they were sold. So now you're like 14 days, 20 days, 30 days, and then you start lowering the price and lowering the price. And now you're just ruining the reputation of your listing. And basically, you are definitely going to get less attention from buyers than you were going to get unless if you haven't started with the right price. So understand that this is a catch-up moment for you. You have a high price, but the buyers are here, and you're trying to drop down, but the buyers are dropping down as well. And finally, when they meet, your house sells for a lot less money, and that's not a good thing for you. So let me show you